the latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. We need ourselves. For a very long time, the African has been looking outside, thinking that other people are powerful because we focus on what others have and not what we have. So when we look at what the world is having outside of the continent, we tend to hide in our shield, and then we tell ourselves we cannot compete with other people looking at all these things that they have, because always Africans point out what we do not have and not look at what we can also do in time of need. The president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, has just sent a message that I think that it is also needed for the African. According to Vladimir Putin, the time has come that they need to unite, resolve their problems in unity, no matter what the situation might be. That even though Europe or NATO has all the technology, they have all the weapons that they need, everything that they need, they have. But that doesn't mean that Russia should be scared. Russia should always be a step ahead of them. That they are doing everything possible to come together against Russia. But that isn't putting fear in them. This should unite them the most. With all the things that they have, they must always work a step ahead of them. That is not going to come at a go, but gradually they will get to their destination.
Russia is virtually the only country to stand in opposition to the so-called collective West in the form of the well-known North Atlantic Treaty Organization, known as NATO. After all NATO countries, without exception, are making every effort and doing everything in their power to organize these hostilities against Russia, to wage, as they believe, a war against Russia that has been launched with the aim of securing a victorious outcome. No one has ever managed to inflict such a decisive final defeat on Russia, because our people, as you rightly said, are united across nationalities and understand their responsibility to future generations, to our children and grandchildren. There are quite a few young people sitting here, and you, God bless, will also have grandchildren, and so on, future generations. We must think about this. No one else needs Russia but us. Only we are able to defend it, strengthen it, and create the conditions for its confident development. Everyone comes to us and joins forces, including in terms of intellectual contributions. We must acknowledge that NATO countries are highly developed in terms of technology and science. They have a highly developed economy. They are trying to inflict a strategic defeat on us. They tried. Now they realize that this is impossible. This is a task that cannot be accomplished. They went too far. They rushed things when they announced it publicly. Some even joined NATO to get a slice of the pie. If there were no cameras, I'd show you what they'd achieve in this situation with that gesture you all know so well. They won't achieve anything. We need to stay one step ahead. There are a lot of them, a whole lot of them. And we are one, a united multinational force. One. And we should not merely respond to the challenges they set before us, but stay one step ahead, step by step. Not as fast as we would like, but we are still moving forward, every single day, every day. Gradually, we will regain control of our territory. It will be so. We will achieve this. There can be no doubt about it. And there is only one piece of advice we can give to our enemies. Do not fight Russia. Never try to do so. Let us live in peace and resolve all problems together through negotiations. But these are supposed to be negotiations, not ultimatums addressed to us, which they were still trying to impose on us. Now there are no ultimatums. They agree to negotiate. Yes, we agree to negotiate, but only taking into account our national interests. To improve our capabilities and develop and strengthen them. We will do so. We have just been discussing Starlink, a sound technology, and low-capacity satellite constellations. This technology exists. It needs to be developed. I have just been speaking to some scientists and manufacturers, and there are other capabilities that the enemy does not possess. There are many things the enemy lacks, but which we possess, and there will be more and better. As for the B-class aircraft, we can see that the enemy is expanding the use of this military equipment to address a specific issue. The aim is to disrupt Russian society, to inflict psychological damage on us, to sow confusion amongst the Russian people, and to cause economic harm. They will not succeed. It is clear that this is a matter of particular concern to us. There are several tasks we must address. First, we must strengthen the country's air defense systems, various systems. I will not go into detail now. Experts are aware of this. To operate at different altitudes with different targets to neutralize and so on. We are doing this and we will continue to do so. That is the first point. Secondly, as far as the economy is concerned, of course, we are suffering damage, but we are recovering quickly. They will not be able to cause us serious problems, but we must respond to them as best we can. We will do this and we will step up our strikes on
И мы это делаем, и будем наращивать наши удары по инфраструктуре противника, так, чтобы отбить у них желание нападать на наши гражданские объекты. И им не удастся решить ни задачу разобщения общества, ни нанесения ущерба нам в сфере экономики.
the enemy's infrastructure, so as to deter them from attacking our civilian facilities, and they will not be able to break our society or cause us economic damage. In any case, they will not succeed in achieving their objectives, and we will do it, and we will do it with more and more opportunities that we can create. They are a serious threat and will only grow. Once this drone threat has been overcome, if I am not mistaken, correct me if I am wrong. There are sometimes firefights as well. The enemy is more or less weakened. As far as I understand, they rely on these drones, and in fact, this is one of the most important tasks. This is what the industry is engaged in. This is what your commanders, the Ministry of Defense, and other departments, including civilian ones, are engaged in. But in addition to this, we have already talked about this many times. This is what all our experts across the country are engaged in. All over the country, I have tried to ensure this, and the Ministry of Defense has taken this on board so that we do not hold anything back, so that there is no excessive bureaucracy, so that everything of value that emerges receives support and appropriate funding. And this is what is happening. I would like all this to happen as soon as possible, but in any case, progress is being made in this direction. And this also applies to the State Defense Order. Of course, the most demanding items are procured and purchased within the framework of the State Defense Order. This is what we will do next. And our manufacturers and the defense industry are also working effectively.
This message goes to us. Always we sit down and we think about what we cannot do. We count the things that other people have. And that is why always Africans are timid. We ask ourselves, yes, what can we do for ourselves? When it comes to this, we do not have that. When it comes to that, we do not have this. See, the way these people have this sophisticated, one of it can destroy the whole of Africa. So the African is always thinking in that negative direction. He's talking about unity. Africans have problems, and whenever there is problem, we are looking for third parties to come and solve our problems for us. And that is why we are having conflicts in DRC, Sudan, and we are still not able to resolve them. We are still calling on people to come in and settle our disputes in this modern world. Yet the African is thinking of the African solution to the African problem. How do we get this solution to our problems if we continue to be looking outside of ourselves? Please, if you are new here, you are welcome. This is Aduba, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, hit the notification and select all. The time has come for all of us in Africa to unite, to see that our internal problems should be resolved by ourselves. And what other people have should not put fear in us. That should even help us to build ourselves and to make sure we are always a step ahead. Look at Russia. They know what other people are capable of, but that doesn't stop them from getting to their destination. Russia didn't get to where it is just in a blue. Some of us still have the mentality that Africans can never unite. If you, the youth of today, with the information available to you, still have the mentality that we can never unite, then what faith do we have left in ourselves? What Africa are we leaving behind for the generations to come? Why can't we tell ourselves we can do it? The leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, we are all excited about what they are doing. Do you think if they thought that other people will come after them and they are so powerful, they would have done that? That has been the fear they put in us in Africa. Like the Sierra Leone First Lady said, if you rise up to do the right thing, they will use the opposition against you. They will destabilize your country. So because of that, the leaders must continue to say yes, even when it is wrong. And Paul Kagame said they have to be firm in taking decisions that they think will help them save the generations to come. That it's better to say no today than for you to say yes and cause pain to generations to come. Even though we do not like what is happening in our continent, we also have the responsibility to change it. We have the power to change it. If a whole Russia is calling for unity among themselves, what about you, the African, that has been divided? These people are united people. But today Africans are divided into smaller pieces. And we are not seeing ourselves as one people. Look at what they have done in Nigeria. The same Hausa people, they took some, kept them in Nigeria. Took some and kept them where? In Niger. Look at the way they have destroyed the African lineage. The same people today are not seeing themselves as one people. Divide and conquer has been the problem. And now it is difficult for the African to unite because of the tribal lines that we have. So why not learn from these big superpowers that do not even have the problem like us, calling for unity among themselves, and to learn so we can unite as a people as well. Look at what is happening in Mali, Niger, Burkina. Look at how these three nations have been able to unite. If all African nations should have teamed up with these people, I think within the time that they did the coup to this time, Africa would have moved 10 times ahead. We cherish to preach democracy than to preach the unity, not by preaching it in speech, but by walking, like the way the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have done. They have proven to the African that we can do everything that we want to do if only we are ready to do it. If only the African is ready to unite, we can unite. We don't need to sit in Addis Ababa to have Agenda 2060 before we can take decisive decisions on what we think is right. Other people are taking practical steps, but Africans are taking steps in speech all the time. And if we are still dividing in this line when we are supposed to be uniting, then when? How will we get to our destination? And this generation must be able to break that chain. If we are not able to do that, I wonder, because when you look at the generations that are coming, the young ones, it's so painful. You come online and it is dancing. The things that these youth are doing is heartbreaking. So if we are not able to change the story now, like Captain Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, Abdurrahmane Tiani, two generals are calling for, I wonder how Africa will be after our generation. The time has come for us to also see the unity in us, for us to start solving our problems and putting our differences aside and fight the same people that are coming in to fight us. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Europe and in Russia.